Hey guys, so today's video is a little bit of an experiment. I have been seeing on Instagram these Russian nail artists like encapsulate rhinestones, and it looks so cool. And from what I've gathered from like the little tutorials that some of them have posted is that they're doing this with dual forms. So they put their gel down in the dual form, place the rhinestones in, and then apply that to the nail. Well, I think they cure the rhinestones in first and then apply more gel to adhere it to the nail, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. That's how I'm assuming they're doing it. I feel like that's how it would work with experience using dual forms. But anyhow, I just think it looks super cool, and I was wondering if like I could do that with the products that I'm using, because I'm sure I'm using much cheaper products than they are. Like, I don't know what exact products they're using, like their gels, dual forms, or even the rhinestones. Depending on the type of rhinestones you have, you're gonna have different quality of them. So like if you get the cheap ones off of Amazon or Temu or whatever, like the quality of those isn't going to be as good as if you buy some from like Blue Street Crystals, where you can get like the Serenity or the what's it called, Percosa or something like that. Like the quality difference there is a little bit different, but I think most people in the nail art community and like DIYers are buying, the cheaper ones that you could buy. So I wanted to see if it would work with like cheaper rhinestones. So that is what I am doing here. To start off, I decided I wanted to add glitter gel polish up at the like nail bed area to cover up my natural nail a little bit, to give it a little something, and it's not just the rhinestones on the nail. I mean, obviously you can just add the rhinestones on if you wanted. In the little clip that I shared on screen, they did just have the rhinestones. A lot of them I have been seeing, they just have the rhinestones on there. But because I was doing this as a press-on, I wanted to just cover up my natural nail, and I didn't want the rhinestones to be all the way up the nail. I did just kind of want them to be like down the center and like down towards the free edge. So that's why I'm adding this glitter gel, and I thought it would go well with the whole rhinestone thing, kind of make it look like, crushed diamonds a little bit up at the top, and then have like the rhinestones falling from it. So I'm just applying it up towards the top, and then I use my ombre brush to kind of drag it down a little bit so it's not a harsh, distinct line, and it kind of like ombres down a little bit. I didn't spend too much time ombreing them because glitter ombres pretty well. You just drag it down a little bit and it disperses out enough to look like an ombre. I did do 3 coats of this. I think 2 coats would have been good, but I wanted to add that third one just to really cover up my natural nail. And I cured each coat for 60 seconds. And then after that, I went ahead and top coated with my shiny top coat from Nails by Dev. And once I got that applied, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And the reason why I went ahead and top coated the top here before flipping them over is because I didn't want to have to flip them back over after putting those rhinestones in. Also, if I would have flipped them back over this way and stuck them to the stands, I would have had to stick them way in the nail bed area, and that makes it unbalanced and the nails will fall over. So when you're doing a super long nail like this, you do want to kind of stick it in the middle so that it's balanced and it's not tipping over or anything. So that's why I am top coating here first. That way, once I get the rhinestones on, Everything is completely cured and ready to go. So these are the rhinestones I'm going to be using, these pointed back ones. And I was going back and forth on if I wanted to use the silver ones or like the clear ones or some of those colored ones. And I just ended up going with the clear ones because I had the most of those. And like I said, this is an experimental set. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go, so I had plenty of the clear ones to kind of waste testing this out. That is also why I went with the pointed back ones instead of the flat back ones, which I'm pretty sure they use in those videos are flat back ones, especially if they're putting them up on the nail bed or like on the natural nail. I definitely feel like they would have to use the flat back ones, otherwise the point is going to make it hard to sit on a natural nail. But like I said, I went ahead and used these because I could afford to waste them, and I don't really use these often. I have so many of them. They don't get used, whereas my flat back ones I do use on myself or for press-ons, like for actual sets that I know are going to come out good and aren't like experimental sets. I definitely don't like to use the products that I like or that are a little more pricier for experimental type of stuff. I like to use cheaper stuff or stuff that I don't use often or really care about getting wasted or anything like that when doing experiments like that. So that's the reasoning behind the pointed backs. And then I use the E-Nail Couture Gummy Jelly Rhinestone Glue to adhere them. It is super thick, and I felt like I really wanted a super thick rhinestone glue to hold these on since they are going underneath. I just felt like it would make it a lot easier to squish them in there and like really have them stick if I had a thicker gel to press them into. I know you can't really see what I'm doing right now because I'm super bad out of frame. It does get a little bit better later on, but I just use my tweezers to place them in and then kind of move them around to get them how I wanted. I just put them in a line straight down the center of the nail. I really didn't have much room to do any kind of extravagant type of rhinestone placement or like design with them because these are stilettos. If you did squares, you could have a little more space to like make a design with it, like a flower or like something like that. And not only did I not really have the space to do some sort of like extravagant type of rhinestone placement, I was also nervous and I didn't really think this was going to work out that well. So I didn't want to do some like cool design and then it ended up just looking stupid. So I just, you know, did the most basic thing I could and just lined them down the nail. After I got them placed, I did stick them in the lamp to flash cure them real quick. I feel like I might have not have needed to do that because it's just sitting there. Like the rhinestones aren't going to slide all over since the nail is curved and it's like holding them. Whereas if you had them on the top, they could slide down the sides, and you really do have to like flash cure or hurry up and cure them real quick to prevent them from sliding all over the place. But I feel like with doing it like this, I wouldn't have had to be so quick to cure them because like I said, it's just kind of holding them there. They're there in the middle, and like the rhinestone glue was super thick, so it wasn't like pulling down and like pooling in the center there. It was staying up on the sides as well, because sometimes if you do apply gel polish underneath right there, or like rhinestone glue or top coat or something, if you do let it sit, it will pool in the middle because that's just how gravity works. But like I said, with how thick this rhinestone glue is, I don't think that was going to happen. But I didn't want to take chances, so I did go ahead and flash cure them. After I got all of the rhinestones on, I did do a full cure for 60 seconds. now that everything is completely cured, I'm just taking them off the nail stands. I did not add any top coat to the underside. You can if you want. You could also like add a thicker layer of gel, like another layer of the rhinestone glue, or if you have builder gel, or if you're using acrylic or whatever, you could do that to encapsulate those rhinestones even more and to secure them in even more if you wanted to. I didn't. Again, this was like an experimental set. I'm not wearing them either for any extended period of time, so I just left them how they were and was just kind of hoping for the best here. But as I was pulling them off, I was actually really surprised with how they looked and really happy with how they looked. I was afraid that they were going to lose the like what's it called, facets, I think, on the rhinestones, you know, like the little lines and like how they're cut, because if you top coat rhinestones, they do lose that and they kind of just look like little bubbles, like those little bubble pearls or rhinestones that you can buy. Like that's what they end up looking like if you apply top coat on top of them. So I was fully anticipating them looking like that, but they came out really good, and you can still see the facets on them and see the different like cuts on there and see like the different ways that the light hits on them. So they still look like those rhinestones instead of just looking like little silver clear bubbles, which was really cool. So I was really happy with that. I kind of want to experiment with my normal like flat back rhinestones because I feel like they are cut a little bit differently than these type of rhinestones, to see if like I would get the same effect and it would still keep that rhinestone look, or if it would end up looking like a bubble. But for these rhinestones, this actually really worked really well, and I think they look super cool because they are stiletto, and I went with like silver and like the clear rhinestones. They do kind of look like icicles, which I think is really cool, and you could do this for like winter sets, and they look super pretty under flash. Like you can really see the reflective glitter, and then you can see the light hitting those rhinestones differently and like shining and sparkling, and I just think it looks super cool. I didn't spend too much time making sure that the rhinestones were perfectly straight, so you can see some of them are a little out of line, and the line down the middle kind of gets a little wiggly and wobbly there. But overall, I do think that this looks really cool and it came out pretty well. So I think this is going to be something fun to play around with and experiment with more, and a new way to do nail art and like enhance your nail art and do some like different type of stuff than what everybody else is doing. But like I said, I don't know how well this would work with like flat back rhinestones. That is something I do want to test out and see, especially with like the AB rhinestones, like, because if you just cover those with a top coat, they just look like little bubbles, and it's just not as cool as if you just leave them untop coated. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.